Imagine being the favored son, loved by his father, blessed with dreams of greatness, a life full of promise. But envy, a silent poison, corroded the hearts of his own brothers. Joseph's destiny was about to change. In the fertile valley of Hebron, a 17-year-old tended the flocks. His name was Joseph, son of Jacob. He wore a special tunic, a gift from his father, a clear symbol of favoritism, sparking dangerous jealousy. One morning, his brothers saw him approaching in the field. Hatred simmered. They decided this was their chance. Far from home, in the arid desert, they hatched a dark plan. They would silence Joseph's dreams once and for all. Without mercy, they threw him into a dry, empty pit. Abandoned, voices echoed, distant. He was alone. A group of Ishmaelite merchants approached. The perfect chance. They sold their own brother for 20 pieces of silver. Dragged in chains with a caravan, Joseph journeyed to Egypt, a slave, from favored son to mere merchandise. Arriving on the banks of the Nile, he was bought by Potiphar, captain of the guard. A new life began under a master. Joseph was diligent and wise in all he did. Soon, Potiphar made him administrator. Everything prospered. But Potiphar's wife, seduced, tried to force him to sin. Joseph refused. He fled, leaving his cloak behind. Furious, she falsely accused him of assault. Betrayal again. Joseph was thrown into Pharaoh's prison. In the damp depths of the dungeon, Joseph was forgotten. 2 years passed. Once again, silence. There, he interpreted the dreams of the cupbearer and the baker. For one, life. For the other, death. And so it happened. The cupbearer promised to remember him, but failed miserably. Joseph remained captive, hope diminishing. 2 long years later, Pharaoh had disturbing dreams. No one in all Egypt could interpret them. It was then that the cupbearer finally remembered Joseph in prison, a Hebrew man capable of deciphering the hidden. Joseph was hastily brought from the dark dungeon. They shaved him, dressed him. He stood before the most powerful man. In the golden palace, Pharaoh waited. Joseph declared that God would give the answer. Tension was palpable in the air. The dreams, 7 fat cows and full ears of grain, followed by 7 lean and withered ones. Abundance and famine imminent. Joseph explained. 7 years of abundance would come, followed by 7 of terrible famine. A plague would devastate the land. He advised Pharaoh to appoint a wise man to store grain, to prepare Egypt for the inevitable crisis. Pharaoh was deeply impressed. Where can we find a man like this, in whom is the Spirit of God? He saw in Joseph not just an interpreter, but a providential leader, a man of God, prepared to save. Joseph, the Hebrew slave, would be the solution to the greatest crisis Egypt had ever faced. His destiny would change. Before all his officials, Pharaoh acted. He took his ring from his finger and placed it on Joseph's hand, a symbol of power. He dressed him in fine linen garments and put a gold chain around his neck. The former slave was being crowned. Joseph was paraded in his second chariot, and everyone cried, "Bow down!" From prisoner to regent, God acted. He was 30 years old, a decade and a half of suffering. He received an Egyptian name, married, and had 2 sons. During the 7 years of abundance, Joseph collected grain like the sand of the sea, storehouses full. Egypt was secure. Then famine came upon all the lands as predicted. The cry of despair echoed, but in Egypt there was bread. The man betrayed and forgotten was now the source of life. Joseph, the governor, saved many nations from death. This was the story of Joseph. From pit to palace, his journey is a testament to God's faithfulness amidst betrayal. Betrayed, forgotten, and crowned. Joseph's life reminds us that God's silence does not always mean his absence. If you want to discover more epic Bible stories, subscribe now. Let us know in the comments which character comes next.